Loma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, the world of boxing is we'll be talking in the next days. We had the fight against Jermaine Ortiz, and Teofimo Lopez, the two-division champion Teofimo Lopez. There's going to be difference of opinion with this fight. For those who've watched it and the Jermaine Ortiz Teofimo Lopez fight, you're going to have an opinion after hearing the judges' scorecards. You watched that fight, and one judge had a scorecard of 117 to 111. Two other judges had 115, 113 for Teofimo Lopez in a unanimous decision. When you watch a fight yourself, you're not going to have that scorecard. Me personally, I've watched Jermaine Ortiz now in these two fights with Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, two fighters of which we herald as being very special. This guy has did more than hold his own. I've scored the fight with Jermaine Ortiz with Lomachenko two separate times, and I have Jermaine Ortiz once winning by 1 and the other time winning by 2 points. In that fight, they were saying that Lomachenko was coming on at the late part of the fight, and you just watch the late part of the fight, and you see that even then, with Jermaine Ortiz wasn't used to going 12 rounds yet, that he was even able to do that, and he was won a couple of those rounds late too. In the fight against Teofimo Lopez, though, Jermaine Ortiz's talent even showed even more, I thought. He was making this guy miss, stayed on his toes the whole fight. Fought southpaw also the whole fight. Didn't even turn in orthodox, which he probably should have a time or two, but whatever. His defense was impeccable. And sometimes this is what people forget. When you're on your toes, you're a boxer. That's why some people need to get in there themselves. You get tired by throwing punches. But it's a skill, or at least shows discipline if you're able to get fit enough to be able to stay on your toes against another young, hungry fighter in Teofimo Lopez, who's also just 26 years old and has stamina. So therefore, with Jermaine Ortiz able to stay on his toes, stay on the outside, and counterpunch this guy. A lot of times, Jermaine Ortiz was hitting the jab. Then, and here's a punch that people don't seem to pay attention to. That's the little short check left hook, or check right hook for him, because he was in the southpaw stance. It was landing a lot of times, a lot. But if you're not saying anything about it, you can miss it, right? That fight, both didn't land much, but I would say Jermaine Ortiz landed a little bit more. He was able to stay on his toes, and what happened was those wild misses from Teofimo Lopez. I don't think Teofimo Lopez should have got this fight, should have won this fight, but he is the champion, and I say that a lot of times. So sometimes you're going to have to let your hands go a little bit more. Jermaine Ortiz winning the fight, I think, but not in a way where the other guy's getting beat up, the champion, right? And I've seen this happen to your boy here. He's going to hit me, his name, the guy who fought Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, Daniel Jacobs. You got to probably let your hands go a little bit more to get a win, a close win. It's just not going to happen from some type of people, a close win. I just think Jermaine Ortiz showed again how good he is. And that's going to probably be to his detriment, because he's being good against these so-called top guys. And he was able to outclass, I think, Teofimo Lopez. When you really look at it, you're not supposed to be missing that bad. And when Teofimo Lopez, he was coming forward most of the time, when he would stop, basically trying to say, well, I'm sick of chasing you around, and he would go backwards, then Jermaine Ortiz would come forward and throw bunches of combinations and win those exchanges. So it was like, Teofimo Lopez, okay, I better come forward, because at least it looks like I'm coming forward. Now, the problem with this is, if you think you can win a fight just coming forward, right? This is where the hypocrisy comes in boxing. This is what it still irks me to the day, of how the first Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight is viewed, right? You have a guy that's 50 pounds less, and he came forward the whole fight, right? The big old galoop was going backwards and got knocked down in 2 separate rounds. And like I've said before, if we judge him by coming forward and pressing the action, right? And also Deontay Wilder landing more than Teofimo Lopez. Then why would we say after a fight where Deontay Wilder's coming forward and knocks a guy down in 2 separate rounds that he didn't win that fight? Oh, it was a draw. Tyson Fury should really won it. Did Tyson Fury do better than Jermaine Ortiz? Right? And he didn't get knocked out, so Tyson Fury would have had to really beat the hell out of Deontay Wilder. But he looked worse after the fight than Deontay Wilder. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because, first of all, I like Deontay Wilder, just to let y'all know. Right? Just in case you're like, well, why you mentioned Deontay Wilder? Yeah, because he's a skinny dude who, did some stuff in boxing. That fight he supposed to win. If you're sitting back saying, well, Teofimo Lopez was the aggressor. If you just coming forward because you wasn't landing more than the guy you were following around the ring. You weren't. So you shouldn't get that fight. And all of us, if Teofimo Lopez is supposed to win that fight, then damn it, go back and watch Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 1, and you tell me what that is. Because obviously you like the coming forward part. But I'm going for more landing because I'm sick of watching sports where attributes of people of color are deemed as something that's not in the sport. Boxing is getting hit, to quote the best fighter in the world, Terrence Crawford, is hitting somebody and not getting hit. That's boxing. Fighting is something else on the street or whatever. But boxing, you got to hit the guy and you don't want to get hit. Jermaine Ortiz did the best of that. In football, American football, we can't have no quarterbacks running because that's what brothers could possibly do. NBA, the crowd doesn't look like the people on the floor. So we got to start making people shoot 3-point shots. And that's all we got in the NBA because we need more Europeans playing. Right? I hate to say it straight up. But that's what it is. Now the NBA, people scoring 140 points in regulation game because everybody's shooting threes. And here's the kicker. You can't even defend them. You can't defend them. Nothing you can do. Man, and it's like in every damn sport. These attributes. Why is that a 3-point shot worth 3 points and dunking on somebody isn't? You know what I mean? Remember Blake Griffin dunking on Kendrick Perkins? Shouldn't that be worth 3 points? Stuff like that. I'm just coming out with some. But no, just shooting threes and not defend them. So, in every sport, this guy, Jermaine Ortiz, came out here and gave a masterpiece of a performance against a so-called great fighter, a guy who was not undisputed but was lineal, and had the franchise title at 135 pounds, a guy who just beat Josh Taylor, right? This guy, you do a master class against him, and it's like it didn't even happen. The judges gave something. I wouldn't care if Jermaine Ortiz did do some, to go to court with this. To have somebody just watch it and have these people have to answer from, especially Weisfeld, who gave him 117, 111, and that's just almost impossible after watching that fight. No one is saying, hey, wow, that was awesome what Jermaine Ortiz did. But that's not true. People did pay attention to this. It's going to be a little backlash here because it should be. Jermaine Ortiz did a good job. Jermaine Ortiz will be in people's minds now because it's not, it's not a coincidence what he did against Lomachenko. He's done it also against Teofimo Lopez. He's arguably won both of those fights. And we have to keep mentioning this name because if we don't, it's in their interest to forget a guy like this and not give him shots at the title. Now, when the other people don't move, or other people don't engage that much in the fight, if that's how we're gonna judge it, it's not really boxing anymore. It's something else. And like it always is. But anyway, congratulations to both of the guys, for getting in there. But I'm gonna go and say congratulations to Jermaine Ortiz for giving us another good performance against a great fighter and not getting credit for it, which is really, it's disgusting to me, to be honest. But I'm trying to be cool right now. I'm going to go and get up out of here. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.